Hey guys, what is up? It's Cat here. Apologies for this semi-delayed House of the Dragon episode 6. Sweet lord. Are we actually on episode 6? Wait, no, we can't be. How? Wait, no, frick, we are. My biggest hope is that Aegon wakes up. Listen, I did not think that Aegon would become one of the most intriguing characters of this season, and even though he spent, yes, literally the entirety of last week's episode bedridden on the verge of death, I do think he's gonna rally, perhaps. Maybe not rally, but I would like to see him gain consciousness and maybe rat out his brother, but I don't know if that's gonna freaking happen. One, he fell from the freaking sky. Sure, his dragon might have broken his fall a little bit, but he was still sizzly. He was still definitely beat up, got a little bit crunched, so I highly doubt that he even has any memory at all, perhaps. But the last thing he did see was the mouth of his brother's dragon blowing fire right in his face, so like, if he has amnesia, perhaps that would stink, but the question really would be, would he confess the truth, especially if he were to regain consciousness, only to awaken to the news that Aegon is the regent now ruling in his stead. I think Aegon does beat down on Aemond because he does see him as a formidable foe, as an intimidating, replacement, someone who probably could and will be doing the job better than him. I mean, Aemond, I think, has always been bracing and prepping for this, always kind of looming in the shadows, waiting in the wings until he could strike, and here he has. So if Aegon remembers anything upon awakening, which might not even happen this week, I'm curious if he'll just keep his mouth shut because he probably fears Aemond now, like terrified. Similarly to Alicent, she fears her own creations, and you guys thought that I was ripping Alicent apart a little bit last week. I don't hate her. I need to make that clear. I find her character extremely intriguing and probably one of the best written characters of this show because you constantly toe the line between wanting to root for her because she has those glimpses of goodness and just genuine, wanting to do the right thing. At least I think. Some of y'all have called me out on that, thinking that Alicent is just a total fraud and that everything she does is in the name of trying to garner sympathy and fluffing her own reputation and facade and whatnot. So, I think Alicent is a very intriguing character. I don't hate her. I think she's one of the best characters of this show. I just only have sympathy for her in certain situations. And yes, Viserys was a very absent father. He wasn't necessarily partaking in grooming these children to ascend to the throne because none of them ever had those aspirations. My argument is Alicent, yes, would support Rhaenyra to her face, but then behind the scenes, behind closed doors, would slap Aegon across the face and say, wake the frick up, you are the challenge here to the throne. He's her firstborn child. You can't look at me and tell me that she never ever fantasized about him having the seat now. So it's so interesting and intriguing to me that she has this 360 switch. She was championing him, grooming him, trying to get him to snap in and accept that this could be a reality for him, that he could actually be the challenge to the throne. And then her last words to him before this all happened were that he was essentially nothing, that he's freaking worthless. So I need to make that clear. If my critique and my commentary following the episodes comes across as if I have so much disdain for Alicent, that is not the case at all. She's had a hard hand dealt to her in life, but now she's just reaping the own repercussions, I think, of a lot of her own mistakes. So, without further ado, let's get in. I don't know what the frick's gonna happen this week. I still gotta finish that dang book. I keep telling myself for every single week for the past 6 weeks now, alright, this will be the week that I finish it before the next episode. So, at this rate, maybe we'll pray for a miracle to see if I can actually finish it before the season finale. In the meantime, let's get in. Episode 6, The SMALLFOK. And I think Aemond locking everybody in King's Landing against their will is certainly gonna work in Team Black's favor.
Golden Tooth is honored to receive you, my Lord Lannister. We are ready to march at your command, my lord.
Tell my brother we are ready to march as soon as Prince Aemond is able to join us on Vega.
Oh, I forgot they were twins.
The prince makes his answer, my lord.
He dares to summon me.
There is a large dragon in the Riverlands, your grace.
I am the Prince Regent, not a dog to be called to heel. We will make an alliance with the Triarchy. I've had enough of this cursed blockade.
A little more than pirates.
They are a stone's throw away across the narrow sea.
But they are not to be trusted. Your father knew this.
Even if the blockade could be broken, are we to invite these alien raiders into our waters?
Stan, you set out for Harrenhal, I think.
We lost much at Rock's Rest, as you all know.
As you caused.
We would do better to await the High Tower host and set out in good time.
There is no time. I'll fly out to meet you when the time is ripe. My uncle is a challenge I welcome if he dares face me.
You are nothing compared to him. Although I'm not even Team Damon anymore. What am I saying? Aemon is so different suddenly. Give him power and he's not so close to the vest. He is snapped in.
What?
Oh, frick. He's gonna dismiss her.
You are no longer obliged.
You have the impetuousness of youth. And its arrogance.
Sure you'll be much pleased to return to more domestic pursuits.
Oh.
Have the indignities of your childhood not yet sufficiently been avenged?
Oh my god. They let him off his leash. Speaking of snapping in, let's go, King. Come on. Yeah, put it on. Thank God we freaking need him.
Your Grace.
Yes.
Bring him forth. Sir Stephen Darkling, Your Grace.
I find myself, Sir Stephen, in an impossible position. I must now proceed as if I stand alone. And I see now that to do that, I need more dragon riders.
But there are no more in your family, Your Grace. Then who could do it?
You. The Darklings and the Targaryens had some common blood. Could it be possible?
Even consider. I am but a man. The dragons are gods. Your Grace honors me beyond what I deserve.
That's the answer we need. Yes, that means you're cut out for it. You got this.
It's never been attempted before. To claim a dragon, you must also be prepared to die.
Oh.
I accept it with gladness.
Yeah, let's try it.
To warn my queen with all my strength and to give my blood for hers.
Let's try it.
The gods will favor us.
Please? Oh, please don't let this poor man die. Oh god. Enough of this. I can't.
Did you say it? The heir for a day. You should have been at my side. But instead you chose to celebrate your own rise. Laughing at me. And everything I've given you, you've thrown back in my face. I've decided to name a new heir. Without quarrel.
He looks like a little kid getting yelled at.
Of your king.
Oh my god, this is just embarrassing.
May I be of assistance, Your Grace?
We need a lot of assistance. Do you have a therapist on standby by any chance?
Old place.
Are you mocking me? Perhaps the culprit was been tampering with my peace. A friend by day and a foe by night.
You know who it is.
Or is it Rhaenyra herself? Shot you. Sorry, Your Grace.
He's telling him to shush. Oh. This is just pitiful.
And stop watching me.
I don't understand how he hasn't figured it out by now. It's your BFF Alice. Stop talking to her. Yeah, get the frick away. Just get out of this place. Don't go. No, that is not who you need to see right now.
Someone poisoned me.
Who do you think?
Food, the wine.
Listening does not please you. You run. You are not the player, but a piece on the board.
Cut him down.
For that matter.
If you have any counsel for dealing with the River Lords, I'd be glad of it.
How has he not realized that she is the crux of all his problems?
They would kill each other to the last man if it were not for their liege lord. But Grover Tully is their lord paramount. Do nothing now. In 3 days' time, the winds will shift.
No, she's got him in the palm of her hand. Oh, sweet lord. Oh no, please don't die. Wakey, wakey. Oh no, he's about to get crisped. Oh god. Okay. Oh please, don't let this be a bait and switch. That looked like an inviting look, okay. The fake out of the century.
Sea Smoke has fled Dragonstone, and Sir Stephen was a valiant knight. I myself, if you recall, was in favour of treating with Lord Mutton. His numbers were few, but we may yet retain.
Yes!
It is my fault, I think, that you have forgotten to fear me.
Where has this energy been? I don't condone violence, but that's the Rhaenyra I've been waiting for. We have yet to see that same fire that she had. That was the same look in her eyes that she had at the end of season 1. Let's freaking lock in.
There is not food enough in the city. In the meantime, the people are hungry, and their anger is rising.
Is Rhaenyra the Pretender who ordered the gullet closed and left them all to starve?
But you should not go it alone. It does occur to me that your grace has yet to name a hand. Sir Kristen, of course, served your brother, but you need one who may advance your cause.
Even sniffed him right out.
I have little patience for the self-important, Lord Laris. But you are, as it happens, correct. I'll make it your responsibility.
It is an honor I've never considered for
Not
myself.
to serve as hand, you toad, to fetch him. Send word to Otto Hightower. My grandsire may be overcautious. You'll see it done.
Oh, that was so freaking satisfying!
But His Grace the King has regained consciousness this morning. He is stronger than I thought. This morning his breath comes easier.
I'll see my brother. Alone.
Y'all should not let that happen.
Oh, do you remember?
I remember nothing.
Oh god.
My friends.
Seems my brother has a long recovery ahead of him, Grand Maester. See that he is made to rest comfortably.
Oh god. This is so bad.
You know you're not fooling anyone.
So that's why he shaves his head.
This subterfuge. You're just like him. Do you never think about what could be ours?
Do not wish to dwell in it any longer.
While me, he ignores.
A sea snake would sooner have high tide claimed by the sea. Stop wasting your life waiting for something that will never come.
Go claim that dragon, maybe.
My queen, our gift is sent.
What gift?
It is hope for clouds over the Blackwater tonight.
Let's go, team. Oh, dang. Oh, I got chills, y'all. Come on, we're gonna win. We're gonna win with the small folk.
Sister?
Queen, I wondered if you'd heard from Father.
If he wrote letters, it would be to you.
I often wonder what life could have been if he had brought you to court instead.
You get on with it, don't you? When there isn't any choice.
My son Daron, what's he like?
Does he not write to you?
That's sad.
He's kind.
Can't say the same for your other
Kindness
sons.
is a quality I found lacking in his brothers. Was it the court? Was it their mother?
I must join Sir Kristen.
That was not enthusiastic. It is a little bit... you can't help but question the one son that she didn't raise. Or rather, that wasn't raised around this environment. Is it Alicent herself, or is she too just a product of Wait, frick. That was... Why do I get the sense they're never gonna see each other again? Frick.
You, wait till you get that food! We're near a ship's chips.
Oh, this worked. Take that, freaking Aemon. Frick you. Oh, but now everybody's just beating each other up for food. Quite literally beating each other up.
Your Graces, we must leave. Now.
On your flanks. Tis the train of fishes!
Ah, ew.
Get to the wheelhouse!
Get up!
No! Sheathe your swords!
Sheathe your swords!
Poor Elena just gets caught in all this dang crossfire, y'all. She doesn't deserve this. I don't blame Allison either. This was all Aemon. And it's the women reaping the freaking punishments, y'all. He's like, go! Rhaenyra, it worked!
Don't take heart, Your Grace. You've already written yourself into legend. You survived Dragonfire. Orwell has exhausted his abilities, but you will never run again. I came screaming into the world from the bowels of one of Harren's great towers. My father named it sorcery. People will pity you, and they will underestimate you. This will be your advantage.
No.
Your brother rules in your place now, which means that your life is in danger.
Oh god. Larys. Dang it, he's so self-serving, but he's loyal at least to Aegon, or is it just out of selfishness?
David, she's gone.
I'm sorry.
Your Grace,
I can't do this anymore.
Lord Grover is dead.
Alice, you freaking called it!
Our own healer, Alice Rivers, volunteered her renowned skills. She plied her craft, but...
Alright, Alice. I guess she's working with us for now. Maybe. Oh my god. He is so broken. He's like, thank you, I needed that dub. I think he might be the one. Oh. Don't fight it. We're about to be jump scared. Don't fight. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. But can he be on our side?
Carried a warning to the usurpers that you have strength beyond what they accredited.
I do not think I can win this war.
I think you are tired.
I have Cyrex and 2 young beasts. We cannot take on Vhagar alone. Even if we somehow prevailed, how will I rule a kingdom when my own son doubts me?
You, I think, are steadfast. Because of that, I will serve you. I believe you are meant to be queen.
Thank you. Okay, besties. More than besties.
Begging your pardon. The Dragon Sea Smoke has been sighted flying over Spicetown. He has a rider. Impossible to tell from the ground. Shall I summon your council?
Go out, girl. Figure it out for yourself. Can't just leave it there. Oh. Dang it, I really hope he's freaking on our side because he has vendettas, clearly. I just hope he's on our side. So we've got some small dubs. Honestly, y'all, okay, I mean, it's not good omens that Rhaenyra herself is starting to question whether or not she can hold this together and even come out strong, come out winning, but I feel like we are more united. Team Green is just cannibalizing themselves. They are totally just, and I think, you know, Otto's been dipping everybody, but I think he's gonna answer the call here from Aemond. Well, will he? Because he was the one who sat Aemond down to begin with and said, you're powerful, but don't be foolish. Don't let your youth blind you. We frickin' need you. Snap in and lock in, but do it frickin' responsibly. You're still a kid. Watch your plays. So it's actually very interesting that Aemond still trusts him in spite of that, because, I mean, I think he is the smartest one in the room, Aemond, and that's what's so terrifying about him. He's the youngest one frickin' there, but he still really sees a lot more, I think, than anyone suspects. I do think he's stupid for not listening to his own mother. You know, you would think Aemond, for how smart he is, yes, he's trying to deflect the blame here for the blockade for being the purpose for the starvation in the city, but similarly to what Gwaine was saying, you know, when you're raised in these walls, you come out a little bit different. So Aegon, I think, tried harder to garner public favor and try to relate to the small folk, tried to relate to his own soldiers, you know, to go out there and fight alongside them. He wanted to make his presence known, to really show up for the people. I feel like, you know, he would try his hardest in hearings with the small folk, trying to do the right thing before having to be steered in maybe more so the right direction by Otto Hightower. But I think Aegon had this innate desire to actually relate to the people and want to hear them out and see eye to eye with them and appear as relatable, versus Aemond very much not so. I think for how smart Aemond is, this was a big mistake on his part and a big misread of the situation and where the people would put the blame. You're the ones right frickin' there. The fact that he thinks, okay, listen, yeah, Daemon's like not firing on all cylinders right now, but I still see him as a much more formidable foe. He's been in this game for so much frickin' longer, so the fact that little like Aemond thinks that he can, okay, I know some of y'all are like Aemond defenders, so frickin' everybody has different favorite characters, people they root for here, so don't hate me for this, but I just don't think Aemond is anywhere near the same stratosphere as Daemon Targaryen, like without question. No, it's literally the equivalent to the freaking meme from Mad Men. It's like, I don't even know who you are. Daemon just lives rent-free in Aemon's mind. That's his freaking idol, because Aemond is literally not a thought in Daemon's mind at all. Sure, he went out to go try to attempt to have him assassinated, but that was only, you know, at Rhaenyra's request. I don't think he himself gives that big of a crap, hence why he was still so satisfied that they at least struck a first blow with Aegon's child, you know, little Jaehaerys. Daemon doesn't care about freaking Aemond in any way, shape, or form. He was just satisfied to get anybody. Yes, he was having those hallucinations at Harrenhal in which he sees himself as Aemond, but I don't think that was necessarily coming from a place of fear for that kid. So Aemond does have quite a lot of self-assurance, but I think that kind of gave him tunnel vision as to where the public favor would be steered in this scenario here, locking down King's Landing. So this was a big dub for Rhaenyra. And Team Green are all kind of just eating themselves alive, or questioning themselves, or forming their own little inner niches and allegiances in the group. You know, we've got Larys Strong barking up Aegon's dying tree, praying for him to come back. Freaking Aemond put him in his dang place. But it's of course self-serving. You know, everybody out on Team Green is just in it for themselves. Yes, they have supposed loyalties to one another, but it's out of a place of, how can this person help me? It is interesting because Larys, I think this is the first time we really saw some actual humanity and vulnerability from him. I don't think he was sharing this as just kind of a sob story to rally Aegon, because Aegon's, you know, the one who really trusts him and seeks his loyalty. You know, for example, Alicent, I think Larys knows he can't necessarily fool her for much longer, but her opinion's void now that she's been expelled from the council, so Aegon's kind of the only one left that Larys could still puppeteer in spite of his ailing health. So I don't think he necessarily shared that, you know, his backstory and got vulnerable like that out of entirely self-serving motivations, but I think he still at the end of the day is like, Aemond sniffed me out too, like, this is my only hope. But perhaps he, has sympathy. He relates now to Aegon, and he sees the strength in that. Nobody looks at Larys necessarily and sees him as a formidable foe, but he can be one of the most conniving and frightening people in this whole show. So yeah, it's self-serving, but I think he's proving that he's maybe the only one that Aegon can trust. So if there's any way that he rebounds from this and can rally, it's Larys who's gonna be there at the finish line with him. But I do think Aegon freaking remembers exactly what happened. He freaking cringed at the sight of Aemond right there at his bedside. He knows exactly what went down and is just keeping his mouth shut out of freaking fear. Like, my brother could take this pillow and smother me right now. Like, now that he knows. Daemon, he's not a freaking power player anymore. He's just in his own world out there, irrelevant to the rest of what is transpiring here. But it kind of felt really like he's been reduced. He's been beaten up emotionally and mentally by all these memories and trauma of the past, and now having to confront Viserys again. That was amazing to see him back. He kind of has been his own biggest obstacle here his whole life. He's kind of been the reason for all of his own undoing. It's just the way he handled things in the past. I do think there's a world in which Viserys actually would have left the throne to him, but Daemon kind of obliterated his own chances of that. The trust between himself and his brother. He made mistakes that completely pushed that out the window. So I think maybe all of this is like a reckoning for him to realize that he kind of only has himself to blame. He kind of really just projects and sees everybody else at fault for him not having ascended the throne, taken what he thinks is rightfully his. But really, I think all of these hallucinations and just all of the tripping that's going on at Harrenhal is just steering right back into just his own reflection, realizing that he's kind of responsible for this, which is why it looked like he just really felt reduced to just like a child there, sobbing as he's face to face with Viserys again. Similarly to Aegon, he just felt like this helpless. Everything I say about him, yes, I always have to preface with take this with a grain of salt, because he's awful. He's got terrible baggage, has treated women terribly, is not a great person, but there were signs from him. I do feel like he genuinely was trying, and if circumstances had been different, he would have made like a genuine effort to actually be a good leader, and he's just been robbed of that at every opportunity, whether it's people telling him to just sit down, shut up, and look pretty, or if it's his own brother trying to sabotage him. I can't believe I've felt so much sympathy for Aegon. I didn't think I was going to go into this season being so fixated on his character and how I feel about him and the evolving air surrounding him and how he's just reduced to this. Dare I say, I was kind of rooting for him, like, get up out of that bed and go put your brother in his freaking place. By no means will I be rooting for Aegon at the end of the day. If it's him versus Rhaenyra, I will always be Team Rhaenyra, but I'd rather have Aegon versus Aemond. Again, to bring it back, I think Aegon really had an effort to try to be a good leader. I don't think Aemond cares about that. I don't think he cares about the things people say about him necessarily. He's lived with that his whole life. He had to do a lot of growing up as a kid and realizing that maybe the people who you trust and are there to look out for you, such as your own parents and family, in a dire situation like that he suffered as a kid, the trauma of being scarred and losing his eye. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he felt like, the only people in the world that could look out for me and protect me here failed me. I think, yes, Aemond has this maturity about him, but it's kind of only a product, I think, of him having to just grow up and face the facts that he's got himself and only himself to watch his own back necessarily, and if he wants to do things right, he's got to do it himself. Hence why he has no value, for Alicent's presence there at the council, but more so Otto Hightower. Alicent questions, has there not been enough atonement for the wrongs against you in your youth? Has there not already been enough blood spilt in the name of your vengeance? I think Aemond is past that. I don't think all of this is in the name of avenging himself as a child. I think he's maybe just always secretly had these aspirations, perhaps. I think out of all of Alicent's children, he probably looked in the mirror and was like, I'm realistically the only viable one here. So who knows? Perhaps Aemond has been waiting in the wings his whole life, but I do think his youth and, that air of confidence that he has is coming back to bite him in the butt here with the public perception. Everybody's Team Rhaenyra, and the fact that they've, violently struck members of the royal family. Every effort that they've made to try to tarnish her here, yes, people can turn around and call her a babe killer, as we've seen, but when you're starving, when you're hungry, and she's the only one sending you food. So yes, while we've suffered on the battlefield, this is a big dub, I think, for Team Black in regards to infiltrating public favor, but these are at least some ways that Rhaenyra can act on her own accord. We took a big fat loss, but I think it has brought to light a lot of the cracks in Team Green's loyalty to one another. They're freaking only loyal to themselves over there, versus here we are. Everybody's backing Rhaenyra, is looking out for her. Yes, to her dismay, she doesn't want to necessarily be kept on this leash. She wants to lock in and go for it, but at least people over here care whether she lives or dies, versus, you know, Team Green, they've got Aemon, they don't even care. For all they care, I don't think it would mean anything to them, frankly, the council, if Aegon hadn't woken, if he hadn't made it. Aegon is just a vessel for the larger goal, you know, for the high towers necessarily. So if Aemon fits that bill too, and he's more up for it, more cut out for it, then I don't think they even really care. Versus, yes, Rhaenyra has been very shackled to have these responsibilities and not be able to put herself out there and go fight in her own name, but at least they all care, and they actually, you know, would be suffering without her. Versus, if you look at it, Team Green's not necessarily like out for the count just because Aegon went down. You know, I don't think anyone necessarily cares about him. They just care about control, no matter who it is, whether it's Aegon or his younger friggin' brother. But dare I say it, I kind of want to see Aegon rally all. I never thought I'd be frickin' saying that. On that frickin' note, I can't believe we're here, but thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode with me. Apologies again for the little bit of a delayed reaction, but let me know what you guys thought about this down below. Or actually, no, it's over to the side now. I think YouTube had a freaking update, so the comments are here. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought over this way. I will catch you guys in episode 7. Holy shnikes. But until then, I hope you guys are doing so well as always, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.